Good morning. It's day 7. For many of you guys, we'll probably see you here in a little bit. Maybe some of you are going to be watching this after we meet and gather together. But you've made it through an entire week of the prayer and fasting time. Hopefully it's been a week of, probably been tough, right? But it's probably also been, I believe it's also been for a lot of us, a week of hearing from God, seeing God's face, knowing more about who He is. Will mentioned a few days ago on one of our previous videos a verse from Psalm 37:4. If you delight in the Lord, He'll give you the desires of your heart. In today's devotion, there's another verse from Psalm 37 that's important. It says something similar, but with a slightly different focus. The Lord makes firm the steps of the one who delights in Him. What's that basically saying is that as you delight in God, you will discover His purpose. He will make your steps purposeful. I love the fact that this passage, and really every single day this week, we have been reminded over and over and over again to set our affections on not what God can do for us, but who He is. You ever asked that question? What is God's purpose for me? And maybe you've tried to fill out a spiritual gift survey to figure that out. I've done that. We've all done that. We've done that as a church. Maybe you filled out a personal personality profile, or maybe you thought you would figure that out by going to school and going to college, but you still struggle with that question. What is God's purpose for me? I think the irony of this verse is that it implies that you discover God's purpose not by asking the question, what's your purpose, but by truly delighting in God. The more you delight in His heart and His character and who He is, this passage would imply that you will begin to uncover and discover what His purpose for your life is. I'm reminded of the quote from Eric Liddell that said something along these lines, that I feel the pleasure of God when I run. Here he was a runner, and if you were to probably ask most people what Eric's purpose was, they would probably say about him, he's a runner. His purpose is running. But I think that quote would imply something different, and that his purpose was to enjoy God, to feel the pleasure of God, to know who God is, or as this passage says, to delight in the Lord. And it was through running that Eric Liddell was able to experience God's presence and experience God's pleasure. Focus today, focus this week, focus your life on knowing who God is as your ultimate singular desire, and your purpose will become very clear. And the purpose for Restoration Church will become very clear. More important than all the details we've discussed all week, and we will continue to discuss, is the question, is our heart's affection set on Jesus? That's the question that this challenges us to think through today. And I pray we'll continue to think through as we go through this 21 days. Now 14 days left. Y'all have a great day.